If you're like me, you are incredibly busy in the morning. It is hard to eat a good breakfast, but it's an absolute must to do it. That's where Magic Spoon comes in. We are all trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast does not have to be boring. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff. And it's amazing as a midnight snack right before bed as well. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving, only 140 calories a serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. You can build your own box. Available flavors to build your own custom bundle are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple waffle. And those last 2, cookies and cream and maple waffle, are now available permanently. So go to magicspoon.com/Adam to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. Be sure to use our promo code Adam at checkout to save $5 off your order. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it is backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/Adam. Use the code Adam to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. What's up? Welcome in a Wednesday edition of Hoge and Jahns as we get ready for Monday Night Football, Bears and Steelers. Everybody get excited.
These longer weeks, they're just always different with our planning, the Bears planning. Everything feels a bit longer. The next week's everything's a bit condensed, but then we have the bye week. But the Bears kind of stink, so everybody can wait.
The Bears kind of stink. It's a good headline for the podcast today. Welcome in, Adam Hoge and Adam Jahns with you. You can follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at Adam Jahns. Read me at NBCSportsChicago.com. Johnsy on The Athletic, theathletic.com/HoganJahns is where you go to subscribe, where you should be subscribed. You can listen to the podcast ad-free there. And we appreciate all the support you guys give us. And I do quickly want to mention that November is 22Q Awareness Month, which we've talked about in years past. But if you're not familiar, my son was born with 22Q. It is a genetic condition, and we can revisit all that when we have more time. And but you can check out some more information. It's on my Twitter feed. And anyway, it's 22Q Awareness Month, so we will be bringing that up here and there over the next month and sharing some stories and all any shirts, merchandise, whatever that's purchased from obviousshirts.com, a portion of that will go to the 22Q Family Foundation that I've been a part of for, probably 7 years now, because that's all old James is. And they do great work, outstanding work, and I encourage you to go find them too at 22Q Family on Twitter and follow along as they share a whole bunch of stories throughout the month of November. Very important stuff, so thank you for all the support there. Yesterday was the trade deadline, Johnsy. How'd that go?
Quiet. Although, I think the Von Miller trade, which happened right after we recorded our podcast on Monday, did it not?
Yeah.
That's how it happens usually. Big trades, big news, podcast is in. Can't really comment on it. But I'm sure a lot of Bears fans are wondering if the Bears could unload a Khalil Mack, who's injured, or Robert Quinn, who's over 30. What did you think?
I thought the Von Miller trade was very interesting. Now, they basically, I don't want to say they got him for free, but they got him for free financially. They gave up a second and third round pick for Von Miller, which certainly gets your attention if you're the Bears and you're like, whoa, we got a couple pass rushers here. We could use some second and third round picks.
Like, what the hell, Les? Give us a call.
It's interesting, though, because the more and more you look at Khalil Mack's contract, right, huge cap hit to trade him. It's like $24 million. However, he's cap hit, unless you restructure it again, which you might have to do next year, is going to be $30 million if he's on your team. So it still actually does save you some cap space by moving on from Khalil Mack. And we talk about this a lot with contracts. The team that's acquiring Khalil Mack is not carrying all that cap garbage that the Bears have to swallow. So they actually get a high-quality pass rusher at a relatively affordable price. Don't have the numbers right here in front of me, but it's like $16, $17 million just the base salaries that you're getting Khalil Mack for. And oh, by the way, none of that's guaranteed. I mean, if I'm another team, I'm like, sign me up for that. Now, the problem is, I guess, with the Rams specifically, is they don't really have a whole lot of cap space. They've been trading for guys forever now, signing guys.
This is what they do.
I don't know enough about their situation.
Who needs the draft? Forget the draft. We'll just take all the other best players, off the other teams around the league.
Hey, that's their strategy. But at some point, you're going to be up against the cap. And so I don't know if they could have fit Khalil Mack into that situation. But it was interesting that they go out and add Von Miller for a pretty steep price, a second and third round pick, it felt like. And anyway, the Bears hold on to Khalil Mack. They hold on to Robert Quinn. They're going to play out the string. Which leads us to, I think, the next conversation, Jahns, is what's realistic here? This is their roster. They're going forward. They got 9 more games. The schedule's not easy. I mean, I look at this, and I don't see how they can do better than 3-6.
For the rest of the way?
Yes.
6-win season.
So
I think the ceiling is 7 wins, but go ahead.
7 wins total.
7 wins, 7-10.
So that would be 4-5 the rest of the way.
Correct. Not
Okay.
Exactly better.
So, no, I know,
a little bit
but
better.
And I'm not trying to tell you you're wrong. I need to find out where the 4 wins are. So Steelers, they're 6.5-point underdogs. Maybe you can pull out a surprise. I mean, if you're telling me they're going to go 4-5, that's the type of game they have to win, which is not easy. Ravens at home.
No.
Come on. After that, they go to Detroit on Thanksgiving.
Should be a win.
Yep. So that's one of the ones I'm counting as a win. That being said, wouldn't completely shock me if they lost.
We saw, what was his name? David Blau? His name was David Blau, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he give the Bears a serious scare a few years ago?
Yes, he did.
Crazy things happen at Thanksgiving. Don't underestimate how mediocre the NFL can be. Now that plays in the Bears' favor, but it also plays against them.
Beyond that, you have the I don't know if I have I don't have the schedule in front of me, but you have the Vikings twice. So, like, again, if I'm trying to find 3 wins, you're trying to find 4. I'm splitting. You got to split one of those. Like, you got to get one of those 2 games.
I believe one of those games is a night game, so you know what Kirk Cousins is going to do.
Yeah, Monday night. I would say, yeah, Monday night at Soldier Field. The problem is, who won at Soldier Field on Monday night last year? Kirk Cousins finally did. Nick Foles started that game, so blah. Yeah. Not gonna beat the Packers. Okay. The Giants would be the other win I'm counting.
You forgot the Cardinals. The Cardinals are on the schedule in December.
Yeah, no, not winning that game. And then the other one's at Seattle. So if you're trying to tell me the Bears are gonna win, so the 3 wins I'm counting are Lions once, Vikings once, Giants. If you're telling me there's a 4th win in there, which game is it?
Maybe Seattle. Maybe
Russell
Seattle.
Wilson's going to be back by then.
That's fine. They're not very good anyway. Don't debate me over 4 wins. I don't think the Bears are very good.
I know. I'm just
telling you that's the ceiling there. That's what I think the ceiling is.
4 wins.
Potential wins, yes.
Which is my point. So 7-10 is their ceiling. You couldn't make one trade yesterday?
Were you talking about trading to improve the current roster or trading with the future in mind?
The future in mind.
Yes, that's so. We've talked about this last podcast. I wrote about this on The Athletic a couple times. It's just not Bears. They don't do that. And that's the frustrating part, right? Like, if you're Ryan Pace, you have to go into the offices of George McCaskey and Ted Phillips, be like, hey, we got to start planning for the future. But they don't want to hear about that. They want to see your game plan for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to put pressure on you to win now, even though it never makes much sense when you got a rookie quarterback playing.
So to me, and we kind of touched on this on Monday, to me, that's a problem. Because I want my ownership, regardless of the team. Like, if you're an NFL owner, I would want my ownership to be aware that 7-10 is the ceiling. So if you're telling me they don't even want to talk about, hey, let's look 6 months in the future here. Let's make some smart decisions. Let's not set us back another season. They don't want to even talk about that. That's a lack of awareness. That's concerning to me.
That's on the ownership. If I'm going to play, here we are again, playing devil's advocate. If I'm Bears ownership, I wonder if the messages from at least Matt Nagy have been consistent. Because I would say this. Matt, you told us that the plan all along was stick with Andy Dalton, that you could win now with Andy Dalton. You threw that plan away 3 or 4 weeks in the season. What is going on? What happened in training camp? Why is he so far behind? Why do other rookie quarterbacks, at least a couple of them, look more advanced than our guy right now? You know, like I wonder if, I don't mean to be hung up on what happened in the summer. At this point, Justin Fields should have better chemistry with his current receivers, right? You're 6 weeks into this, 6 starts into this. But it just seems like such a waste of time. Like, I would have serious questions about that. Like, that would linger for me if I'm ownership.
I think we haven't won enough under the leadership of George McCaskey, and that's what we're working on.
Yeah, it's here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about what could happen the rest of this season beyond just the wins and losses, which I think we just covered. But first, let's play your voicemails. Let's put a cap on last week's collapse in the fourth quarter. Probably your best moment of the season. Justin Fields makes that crazy touchdown. Crowd's going crazy. And then the extra point goes, and then the other team scores 10 points and you lose. Curious what these voicemails are like. And then we'll get to some of these other bigger discussions because I think we got to start talking about developmental stuff, if we're being honest, about what's left here in 2021. But here are your voicemails from the Bears 49ers game.
Hello?
Do you know who this is?
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
The Hoge and Jahns voicemail. The Hoge and Jahns voicemail line.
Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep.
Got any questions or comments about the Bears? Give the guys a call before, after, or even during the game.
Go Bears!
Well, first quarter, 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Jesse James with a wide receiver catch and a tight end position. Makes me wonder, why did we pay Jimmy Graham all this money? Go Bears.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. The first week where the offense looks like it can scheme people open. What's the one difference? Could it be that Matt Nagy isn't involved? Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I didn't think I'd ever say it, but maybe time to trade Allen Robinson. Take the picks. I've just never seen this man take more plays off in his career, and I just don't know if he's built for the team that we've got right now. Bear down.
This is DJ Almost Famous out of Dallas. I don't know who made that bold prediction of Jesse James getting the TD touchdown, but good job. It came true. Bear down.
It's already halftime, and the Niners have 3 field goals. It's looking a lot like the last game that was in Chicago, and if it happens again, I swear to the dear Lord, Robbie Gould we need to give all our money to Robbie Gould.
Hey, Hoge Jahns. What's up with Cole Kmet? Just dropping a touchdown pass from Fields. Why can't he get separation? Why can't he become a better tight end? He seems so sluggish. What the hell did that tight end university thing they were raving about that he did this year do for him? Nothing. What are the Bears doing?
Listen closely, boys. I have a proclamation. There is a God walking amongst men on Soldier Field, and that man's name is Cairo Santos. Bear down.
That Justin Fields run for a touchdown just had me feeling some type of way. Bear down. And why was the extra pat all the way to the right for Cairo? But it, we're winning this game. Let's go!
Just when the offense manages to get out of their own damn way, the defense figures out again how to just completely throw a game. What the is this team's problem? Fire every buddy.
This is a joke. We have given up 2 rushing touchdowns to basically an athletic stiff in Jimmy G. Just more of the same, different faces. That being said, Fields, wow.
The biggest disappointment of this whole game was our defense.
It wasn't Justin Fields' best throw, but on the interception, Darnell Mooney totally misplayed the ball. He slows up, and then he has to jump up, and it goes off his hands at the top of his leap. Bad decision by Mooney.
I think my only question is, can we flex out of next Monday Night Football? I got friends and family across the country. I don't need them seeing that on national TV. Dear God.
I've been a Bears fan for 46 years. All this abuse, I think, has caused me to have PTSD. Can I get disability?
Can't wait to hear from George and Ted about how this losing streak is actually a positive.
And our kiddos, Bob Dabrowski calling in after a Soldier Fields loss. This one didn't sting quite as bad. The Bears, they were in it. They could have won. They should have won. It is what it is. But I think the moral of the story today is Justin Fields. That guy looked like an animal out there unleashed upon the back of lesser animals. And he is going to be a stud. You can just tell. He's learning. He's still developing. But that guy, that touchdown run, my goodness gracious, goodness God almighty, that was something else there. That's one that we'll remember. I think a win would have been amazing. A win would have been a cherry on top of a delicious Halloween Sunday, which is something that you should get into. But anyway, this will be the day that we remember as the Justin Fields Day. This is when he established himself as an NFL quarterback. There were some bumps along the way. There will continue to be some bumps along the way. But this was a good day overall. Optimistic Bob, signing off, over and out, bear down. Let's go.
Optimistic Bob.
Sad Bob was out last week. Optimistic Bob is here. I think everybody prefers Optimistic Bob, but I think Sad Bob made other people sad.
Yes. There was still like a touch of sadness in that call. I felt like he was saying optimistic things, but you could still feel the loss.
Yeah. John DeFilippo's favorite thing about that 22-yard touchdown run, sure, it was electric. Looked like the best player on the field, Justin Fields did. Before the actual snap, the Bears were in the wrong formation. And with the clock winding down, he got everybody in line, and then he even sent the motion at the correct time when everybody was set. So a sign of maturation, the quarterback's coach called it for Justin Fields. Another step in the right direction, I feel, for the young guy.
Again, though, not surprising at all. On a crucial 4th and 1, the biggest moment of the game, the Bears are not lined up properly, which is a whole nother thing. I told you there was something off on that. Remember I said, it looked like the play came, I don't know if the play came in late. The decision from Tabor was right away.
Yeah.
We talked about this on Monday.
Instant.
Tabor said, we're going for it. And it was like, well, why are they still it just, you could tell something was off at the line of scrimmage, and that's what it turned out to be. I think it was Mooney who wasn't lined up properly. He had to send him up to the other side of the field. That usually doesn't happen with him. And
DeFilippo also had the interesting comment that he actually thought, now he didn't want to say, I wasn't, or he said, I wasn't in the 49ers room, but this is what I think. The 49ers almost lucked into stopping that play. That someone did the wrong thing and they were just in the right place at the right time for it. He made that suggestion. Yeah, just something interesting.
So they lucked into covering the flat route and also sending a edge rusher straight up the field to contain Justin Fields, which actually makes sense. That's what I would do if I was a defensive coordinator.
He made a suggestion that someone should have done something else. And they didn't, and they were just there. Covering the flat, I think it was.
I'll have to look at that again.
Yeah.
I think, to me, it looked like the defense made a better call than the offense. And the quarterback was the best player on the field and scored a touchdown, which is what you want. That's why these quarterbacks are so valuable. That's why when you get that guy, everything looks so good because you got Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers that can bail a bad call out, right?
The play after the play.
And that's what happened on that. So it's, that stuff's going to happen, but it's just an interesting thing for Flip to say, I guess, that it was like kind of lucky that he was there. Okay.
No, he didn't. I want to go back to his actual quote now, but are you going to make me dig up this transcript? Talk about something while I find it.
No, you don't have to.
Okay. We moving on?
It's just, I don't know. I didn't hear that part. I was too busy working on trade scenarios that didn't happen.
If you're looking for ways to skip the trip to the post office and dodge all the hectic holiday shopping traffic, why not save time and money with Stamps.com? Stamps.com lets you compare rates, print labels, and access exclusive discounts on UPS and USPS services all year long. It just makes too much sense, especially if your business sends more mail and packages during the holidays. So whether you're selling online or running an office or a side hustle, Stamps.com can save you so much time, money, and stress during the holidays. Access all the post office and UPS shipping services you need without taking the trip. And get discounts you can't find anywhere else, like up to 40% off USPS rates and 76% off UPS. So save time and money this holiday season with Stamps.com. Sign up with promo code ADAMS for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code ADAMS.
When the moment for intimacy arrives, you need to be ready. Roman, ready. ED is more common than most people think. In fact, 52% of men between the ages of 40 and 70 will experience some form of ED. The benefits of ED treatment can help you reconnect with your partner and rediscover the joy of sex. Roman Ready is confidence personified. It's the self-assurance that comes from knowing you've prepared yourself for the moment when intimacy arrives. And Roman's system is completely confidential and totally discreet. There's no big logos or labels on packages when they come. It's very easy to do. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan, and if medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward, convenient, and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to GetRoman.com/Adam. That's GetRoman.com/Adam, and you can complete your online visit. You don't even have to leave your home. So go to GetRoman.com/Adam today, and if you're prescribed, you can get $15 off your first month of ED treatment. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this fall. Roman Ready.
If you ever wanted to make your home feel safer, there's no better time than now. This week, our friends at Simply Safe are giving Hoge and Jahns listeners 40% off their award-winning home security. We love Simply Safe because it has everything you need to make your home feel safer. Indoor and outdoor cameras, comprehensive sensors, and they're all monitored around the clock by trained professionals who send help the instant you need it. Simply Safe was even named Best Home Security System of 2021 by U.S. News & World Report. You can easily customize a system for your home online in minutes and even get free custom recommendations from Simply Safe. These are Simply Safe's biggest discounts of the year. You can get a home security system starting at just over $100. There are no long-term contracts or commitments. It's a really easy way to start feeling a bit more peace of mind. Take advantage of Simply Safe's holiday sale and get 40% off your new home security system by visiting simplysafe.com/athletic. Again, that's simplysafe.com/athletic for 40% off your entire system. Hurry, this offer ends soon.
All right, as the weather gets colder, and man, it was cold this morning, 27 degrees standing outside in the dark for the school bus to come. That was fun. But hey, you need warm shoes, and that's why wool is the absolute best. That's what you get with Allbirds. And as we settle into this fall season, life is picking up. You need something comfortable too. When you lace up a pair of Allbirds wool runners, you will see that Allbirds has redefined what it means to be comfortable all day long. I love the Allbirds that I have. I got the burgundy color. They're comfortable. I like the way they look. I can wear them with jeans. I can wear them with a suit. I can wear them with pretty much everything. And they're warm and they're comfortable. Most importantly, made with soft, itch-free, naturally durable, ZQ certified merino wool. They're simple and stylish, proving that comfort, design, and sustainability don't have to be mutually exclusive. And they're machine washable. That's a must for me. I don't like when my shoes get dirty. Throw them in the wash. They come out clean. And that is just clutch with these nice, comfortable, classy shoes from Allbirds. They're designed to be versatile and stylish. These neutral classics look great with any outfit. Allbirds is a carbon neutral company too, thanks to sustainable practices like using natural materials and purchasing carbon offsets. So you can start the season off right with a pair of wool runners from Allbirds. Find your own pair of wool runners at allbirds.com today. That's allbirds.com, ALLBIRDS.com. Let's see, where were we? Okay, so the one thing in those voicemails I wanted to touch on, because we were talking about before you were mentioning, like, if you're George McCaskey, questions you have for Matt Nagy. I would say including Ryan Pace too. Questions you might have for Ryan Pace. When our producer Kent Garrison, who does a great job of the voicemails all week, said to us, there's a lot of talk about the tight ends in this week's calls. I was like, they love the tight end talk. But, like, those are all valid points. The Jimmy Graham thing would 100% be something I want to know. Because it's non-guaranteed money. And what does he do? He has one catch for 11 yards on the season.
I was going to check what his production was.
I mean, if I'm George McCaskey and this is my team's money, I'd be like, what is this? And again, I've said this many times. I was on I could have seen it go either way. I felt like Jimmy Graham brought enough value that you could defend having him on this roster. The 9 touchdowns last season, the mentorship for Cole Kmet. But here we are, 8 games into the season. He has 1 catch. He's hardly involved in the offense. Cole Kmet's not really taking that step you want him to take. He's fine, which is a whole nother conversation I'd like to have here in a few minutes about a bunch of guys who are just sort of fine. That money, it was not well spent. It just wasn't. And that would be another thing when I get in a meeting with Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. I'm like, what were you guys thinking here? What was supposed to happen? Because obviously this wasn't what was supposed to happen.
We're not advocating for the return of Kyle Fuller or anything like that, right? Like, I feel like the Bears...
No, regardless of what the move is, it's a wasted cap space. It's wasted.
It's a wasted roster spot. Yes. Well, it's the Bears, though. Pushing money down the line, spending money on old players. That's why the Bears are who they are.
But, like, you ended up with Jesse James on this roster. You didn't have at the beginning of the training camp. Turned out to be a decent signing. He's got chemistry with Justin Fields, which is maybe a good transition to what we think should happen the rest of the way, what we might want to see happen the rest of the way. But what's the, I guess at this point, what's the point of even playing Jimmy Graham? I'm being serious now.
Well, he didn't play last week because he was on the COVID list.
I know, but now he's back. What are you accomplishing? I'm being serious now. Like, Justin Fields clearly has a connection with Jesse James. Jesper Horsted made the tough catch in the end zone. That caller in our voicemail says, why can't Cole Kmet get separation? Which was exactly my point after the game. Yes, I know some people point out like he's got one arm because he's being held or whatever, and it was a tough catch. Make it so it's not a tough catch. That's part of your job. You know all week on that route, you need to create separation. It's a back shoulder throw. Some people are picking on Justin Fields a little bit for that. I don't know, man. The ball was there. Make a play for your quarterback.
Now, his quarterback's coach said his ball was hot.
It was a little hot.
What did
the tight ends coach say? Did the tight ends coach say he should catch the ball?
Well, the quarterback's coach said he should catch the ball too. But I'm just saying, let's not leave out the context. Here I'm going to come off as defending Cole Kmet, but let's not leave off the context of who he was actually up against too.
But this is part of a bigger conversation. Like, the Bears have so many of these guys. And I use that word specifically. They're guys. Where are the studs?
Well, one of your studs on the franchise tag, like this is part of the... Allen Robinson is having a guy's season. Is he not?
Yes.
And you're paying him how much money? It's like the Jimmy Graham conversation as well. Like, I would honestly ask, like, what is going on with Allen Robinson? You franchise tag this guy, what, $19 million? Why is he your fourth leading receiver?
Yeah, well, that's another whole thing. That I can't explain.
Sorry, second leading receiver, but, you get my point.
Well, I don't think he has more than 4 catches in a game since week 1. You're paying him a lot more. You're paying for serious production.
See, I think what you have here, the larger picture is here. Why is my offense broken? If I'm George McCaskey, why is this offense continuously broken? Because truthfully, you put some of these guys in other teams, I think you get more production.
Well, that's a fair point.
Yeah. Like, why are we running so many hitch routes? Like, go watch that completion, the Marquise Goodwin. That third down completion that everybody loves so much? And I do love it. But watch the other routes the other guys are running. Why are they running into coverage? Like, I'm serious. Watch what Cole Kmet's doing. I don't know if this is on Cole Kmet or the offensive system. Like, why is he running into Fred Warner? I get it. You may want to run him off, and there's decoys and all sorts of things that go into route concepts. But, the Bears, lead the league in hitch routes. Like, why is that?
Well, that goes back to the video that JT O'Sullivan did on the Bears in that Browns game.
Static
routes? How many times he went through the whole game, and he was like, this is a route combination you run against man. And this is zone. And then it was like, the next one is like, this is what you run against zone, and now you're facing man. Like, it's not, it doesn't work.
But those are questions George McCaskey. The thing is, George McCaskey has to become equipped with, his research to ask these questions to Matt Nagy. Ted Phillips has to talk to JT O'Sullivan and be like, what is going on? Why is our offense not working? You could try to explain it to me, but the stats are what they are. I think that's one reason why we all, we're looking at this Cole Kmet play so seriously, because it was drawn up so well. They come up in I formation, they motion out, they get the single coverage they want. You have a matchup you may actually like with Kmet against Fred Warner. That's going to be the matchup. Throw was decent, coverage was decent, a lot of things played into it, but it didn't work.
Well, does Travis Kelce make that catch?
Travis Kelce had a bad game the other night, by the way.
Okay, that's not my question.
Besides the point, probably.
Does George Kittle make that catch?
Well, where's the ball? Is it on the hand, or is it who's throwing the pass?
No, the same exact pass. The same exact hot pass.
Maybe.
Do they catch the ball?
Maybe.
You can say, Cole Kmet's not those guys. You just named 2 of the best tight ends in football. Okay. Does Jesper Horsted make that catch?
Maybe.
That's the problem to me.
Yeah.
You can't expect every single pass, especially for a rookie, to be perfect.
This is the conversation I had about Trubisky years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
And everybody was on my case about it.
But this is in the context of actually a good game, and I think the future is obviously brighter for Justin Fields. I'm just, you know what? This, let's stay on topic here, with what needs to go in the direction, okay? Because this is my point. My point is exactly this. You need guys that can actually make plays, okay? And I honestly still think Cole Kmet can be one of those guys. But you need to start seeing it. Make that play, okay? Darnell Mooney, one of the callers brought up, that's a Hail Mary down the field. I didn't even dock Justin Fields for throwing an interception. You're down 2 scores. You have no timeouts. You're just trying to chuck a ball up. So make the play. The ball hit you in the hands. Why'd you slow down? Because the caller's right. He did slow down a little bit. You have to find guys who are going to make those plays for the quarterback. Because believe it or not, every pass that Patrick Mahomes throws is not perfect. He's got a cannon, too. He throws it hot, too.
Actually,
and Kelsey makes the play for him.
I would actually argue a lot of the highlight reel plays you see from the Chiefs, those passes are not perfect.
It's just true. There's two ends to every pass.
By the way, what's going on with the Chiefs this year? Oof, I don't know.
And then the other thing is, if I had to say right now what is the biggest priority this coming offseason, you need real dudes on the offensive line. This whole trying to skate by with not investing large sums of money on the O-line with all these second-round picks. Now, the Bears, well, I was going to say they did. They used another second-round pick on another O-lineman this year, right? Now, it was granted this year it made sense. You used the first-round pick on the quarterback. Okay, that's fine. But, you look across this line, whether it's Tevin Jenkins, Cody Whitehair, James Daniels, Mustafer's undrafted, right? And then, man, another question I'd have talking about money: $5 million for Jermaine Ifedi. Jermaine Ifedi should not get his job back when he comes back here.
Oh no, it's Larry Borum the rest of the way.
You got to go with Larry Borum the rest of the way. 5th round pick. Now that may end up working out. Ryan Pace has been really good in the 5th round, but if you're going to really put Justin Fields in position to have success down the road, you could just look at Jason Peters. He's 39 years old. You see the difference? You see the difference between Jason Peters and Cody Whitehair and James Daniels? Sam Mustipher. You see that difference? The guy walks up. He's fishing. The dude is fishing. He comes off a boat, walks into Hallis Hall, needs a couple weeks to get into shape, plays week 1 anyway. The dude has been really good. And he's 39 years old. That's an offensive lineman. I understand he's going to the Hall of Fame, but go get yourself a Hall of Fame lineman. When's the last time the Bears had a Hall of Fame lineman?
Well, Olin Kreutz.
Should be Olin. I think he retired 10 years ago.
Do you want me to read you? It's a good segue to what I wrote about with these mid-season predictions. You want me to read these to you real quick?
Yes. So this is in The Athletic.
Yes, this will be live on Thursday. So
I'm fired up today, Johnsy.
You are fired up. So I want to hear your thoughts on some of these because you set me up for one of these. All right. So these are mid-season predictions. Not exactly the mid-season because they got the 17th game, but we're after 8. You get my point, right? Everybody gets my point.
That's good enough.
So how we did this, we broke it up into 5 categories: Justin Fields, skill players, offensive line, defense, and how the season ends. Let's start with offensive line since you just mentioned Jason Peters. This is my mid-season prediction. Jason Peters will be remembered as the Bears' best offensive lineman this season. And that's saying something since his Bears tenure began with him taking a phone call from Juan Castillo while on a boat.
And his reaction was, "Oh no."
Yes.
I still love that.
What happened?
I still love that. He looks at his phone, he sees it's Juan Castillo, and he said, "Oh no."
But it's everything you just said. He's brought something that I think should be noted more than once. It's that block in Fred Warner where he takes his head off, basically, clotheslines him.
Yes.
That means something. It's all those cleaning pancake blocks that you see that he produces. When's the last time we saw that from a Cody Whitehair or James Daniels? We saw it from James Daniels when he slammed the guy from the Raiders. But, I feel like this starts with Jason Peters. He's brought a tenacity, a mindset. The run game has improved with him, and he's 39 years old, and odds are he won't be in your team next year.
Can you help me out real quick? I'm trying to find the stories so I can look at it at the same time.
No, it's not up yet.
Oh, okay,
So this is a tease. This is
all
a
right,
tease.
I'm trying to
This
find
is a tease.
it. Oh, I like this. Okay,
This is a
sorry.
tease. So
no wonder I can't find it.
So if you're listening, this is going to be up on Thursday morning.
Got it.
Kevin Fishbane has his midseason predictions in it as well. There is a lot of analysis that comes with these one-liners I'm reading. Check it out while you're listening to us. It's going to be fun. What do you want next? You want defense next, or you want skill players? We're just talking about skill players.
Can I bring up one thing on Jason Peters, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you do when Tevin Jenkins is ready to play?
I don't think he's going to be ready to play this year.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. How about we just leave it at that? And that's another question that George McCaskey should have for Ryan Pace.
Okay, well, that solves that problem. Because if he is ready to play in a couple weeks, I'm with you on Jason Peters, but shouldn't your mind be on the future? Don't you have to get Tevin Jenkins on the field?
Yeah.
Sounds like a moot point, though. All right.
At the same time, though, if your future is really Justin Fields, don't you want to keep him upright?
That's also true. But isn't the point that Tevin Jenkins is supposed to be able to play?
It's true. Ugh. It's true. Layers. So much layers to this.
Fix the offensive line.
Skill players. Here's my input. Fields' chemistry with Mooney and even tight end Cole Kmet will be viewed as a positive for the future, regardless of what changes happen. But the team still will be left wondering where things went wrong with Allen Robinson this season.
Well, sure. But this is where I'm actually going to be calling myself out for this, okay? I am also guilty of doing this. I think we all are. Whether it's the fans, the media, especially the Bears doing this. I think we all have a tendency in the offseason when everything's bright and sunny of overrating some of the talent that's on this roster. So when I probably said multiple times in the offseason, the interior of this O-line is the strength. Right now, they got a bunch of borderline starters that are committing way too many penalties. All right? That was wrong. I want to see a dude in the middle. I want to see a Ryan Jensen taking dudes' heads off. I want to see a Quentin Nelson. Real, violent, physical, offensive. I want to see an Olin Kreutz. You know what I mean? So, and I'm saying this, I know I'm getting back to the O-line, but I'm saying this because of what you just said. I apologize. I'm not trying to call you out, but I'm just worried that maybe we're still overrating Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney a little bit.
That's fine. That's fair. I think their production is going to be higher than what Allen Robinson produces. I think you're going to see a season. So if Cole Kmet finishes with, let's say, 50 catches and just over 500 yards receiving.
Is that what he's on pace for?
He's not far from that pace.
Okay.
He's got 22 catches for 197, and he's got the extra 17th game.
But how does that, I don't know. That seems like he's still way behind other tight ends, right?
Well, I don't think they're, let's see. Let's look at tight end production this year.
Yeah. Let me go off my grades here just so you're aware. Darnell Mooney, I have right now playing at a mid-level starter. In my grading system over the course of the season so far. He grades out as a starter, but not a long-term starter, which is the next level up, the way I do it. So he's on that fringe. He's worth starting, and I think that's the production he's giving you. But if you're trying to tell me he's going to develop into a number one stud wideout, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I know you're not saying
he's going to
that.
be the Bears' leading receiver by the end of the year because Allen Robinson's not producing.
Well, you're right about that.
It's more of a criticism of what's going on with Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll be able to guess the two leading receivers at tight end this year. Or sorry, Travis Kelce's number one. But
yes.
The two guys after him.
How many catches does he have so far? And I should know this. He's on my fantasy team.
49.
So he's already at 50. That's like my point.
Yeah.
He's halfway through the season, and he's already at the point we're talking about Cole Kmet getting to by week 18.
Well, I think that to be fair, he's playing for, look at Tyreek Hill. He's already got 64 catches. Just like he leads the NFL.
And everyone's saying the Chiefs' offense is broken right now. That's the scary thing.
Yeah.
This is these guys on a down year.
Yeah. Let's not forget the Bears have the worst passing offense in the league, and a lot of that is. Well, you could go on and on and on. Let's see if you can guess the second and third leading receiving tight ends.
In football right now.
Because I think it's kind of notable, given the development of guys, by the way.
Yeah.
See what these guys are doing.
Is one of them Waller?
No.
Not Waller. Just give it to me. I'm not going to be able to think of it.
TJ Hawkinson.
Okay.
First round pick, right behind Travis Kelce with 48. I believe this is his third season.
And he's in Detroit, everybody.
Yes. Third season, I believe. And then we have Mike Gesicki. Miami.
My guy from Penn State.
With 40. I also believe this is his 4th season. Now they've been more productive than Cole Kmet in their first or the second and thirds. Just more context for you. I'm not writing off Cole Kmet, but yes, he needs to be better.
Where do you think I have Cole Kmet? What category? Do I have him as a...
I'm going to say you have him as a non-starter, judging off what you've been saying the entire podcast.
So I have basically... The way my rankings go are blue chip players, like apps, those are the studs. You need more blue chip players, okay? Then I have long-term starters, like the guys who are playing a starter level that you want to consider extending. You want to keep them around, okay? Then you have starters. Those would be like the kind of guys that, they're doing enough to be on the field. They should be on the field, but I don't know, you want to give them a whole bunch of money when their contract's up, okay? Then you have fringe starters. Those are the type of guys you should be thinking about replacing. And then you have what I call reserve special teamers. And then below that's below replacement level. Oof. Reserve special teamers. That is where Cole Kmet has been so far this season, at least just based on the way I look at the film and grade it out every week. Now he's on the high end of that, close to fringe starter, but like that's what he's been. To me, that's actually accurate. That's where he's been when you look at what he's been so far. How do you grade
his performance in the run game, though? Because I would imagine the run game doesn't work as well as it does if he's not playing as well as he is in the run game. I look at blocking. Yep. That's why I always come back and I once I get the all 22, which has been a problem this year a lot. I seem to have figured out the hack on that one. Once I get it, then I watch all the end zone angles. And when he makes a key run block that springs open a guy, I give him credit for that. There's also, I hate to say it though, some blocks that haven't been good. In fact, there was one the other day where he completely whiffed on the guy coming on the right side, and Jesse James was coming over to help. I don't know if he was in motion or that was what he was supposed to do to help, but he ended up taking, it may have been Bosa, but he ended up taking that guy because Cole Kmet whiffed on him. And by the way, I gave these guys all the credit in the world, I think, against the Raiders. I did a whole film study when they blocked their asses off, and they had a couple good weeks in there where the tight ends were really, really good blocking. That's all factored in here. I don't mean to pick on Cole Kmet. That's actually, This has become the pick on Cole Kmet's podcast for you.
Well, and I apologize if it's coming off that way. It's just, to me, it's another second-round pick that you keep projecting these guys as, hey, this is going to be the Bears' Travis Kelce. This is going to be the Bears' Tyreek Hill when you start talking about the wide receivers.
See, I think that's part of the problem. Like, Matt Nagy just always wanted to rebuild the Kansas City offense and just never adjusted to what was actually drafted, what was actually signed. Like, it's just built differently. All right, moving on to defense.
Real quick, you do bring up a good point, though. It's year 2 for Cole Kmet. It does take a while with tight ends. You brought up two guys that are, farther along in their careers, and I want to make it clear. I still like Cole Kmet. I do think he can get better. It's just part of it's just me using an example in a larger conversation of some of these guys that how many second-round picks do we have to talk about? Long time we talked about all these great second-round picks for Ryan Pace. Then you sit back and you're like, I don't know, which one of these guys are actually great? Like Eddie Goldman was great.
Well, yeah, what's going on there?
What happened to that? So
Cody Whitehair was a solid starter. Yeah. That's a different conversation. All right, defense. See how you feel about this one. Coordinator Sean Desai won't get the praise he probably deserves for keeping an aging, injury-plagued, talent-depleted defense above water. As Adam drinks his water.
Yeah, I got to hydrate when I'm this hot. Yeah, I don't think you're right. I mean, if they keep playing like this, he's not going to get the credit. Sure. He should.
They looked old, beat up, injured, just a tad slow against the 49ers. That 49ers offense was not exactly world beaters.
Especially in the fourth quarter.
They gave up.
Ooh. Don't tell Eddie Jackson.
Didn't play.
I know. He doesn't want to hear about giving up, though, and effort. What happened in the fourth quarter, though? They just get tired?
Yeah.
I'm with, this is something we've talked about on this podcast now. John's like, How long can you keep this defensive window open? It's football. It's the
shut.
NFL.
No, that defensive window is shut. Can we just shut it?
That's the unfortunate reality.
I use talent depleted too because some of their draft picks, young guys, aren't exactly panning out as they had hoped to. Your Duke Shelleys, your Kindle Vildors, and whatnot.
Right.
All right. Quarterback, Justin Fields. Fields' progress and success will leave management in Detroit, Carolina, Denver, and maybe even Philadelphia wondering, what the hell were we thinking?
Yes, they already should be thinking that. I think about that daily. What were you thinking in Carolina? And they didn't even take Patrick Surtain like they should have. Now, J.C. Horn might be a good player, but what? Even in Denver, Patrick Surtain has been one of the best corners this year. He's been outstanding. Yeah. He's probably going to be like a Jalen Ramsey type player. Good pick for Denver. They don't have a quarterback. They're rebuilding. Who are they going to find a quarterback? I cannot believe that especially those two teams passed on Justin Fields. And I said it the second the Lions traded for Jared Goff and got rid of Matthew Stafford. I said, and I was screaming it, this should not preclude them from taking a quarterback in the draft. And they didn't do that.
I think organizations that at least take the swings on quarterbacks, like they should be appreciated a little bit more. Now, that may come off as a defensive Ryan Pace, but you need one to win in this league. You just do. You're treading water until you have one. You got to have some gumption, some guts. That's what I think.
You're treading water, and then all of a sudden you start sinking. Like the Broncos were a team that was kind of like treading water, and now they're sinking.
Yeah, they're trading Von Miller.
They're in a rebuild, and they got to get that quarterback. And I don't know if that guy's going to be in this draft.
All right, let's wrap this up. How the season ends. The season will end with another press conference with Chairman George McCaskey and President Ted Phillips that leaves everyone infuriated.
Have we gotten the quarterback situation completely right? No. Have we won enough games? No. Everything else is there.
He might be able to say the quarterback thing is right, though.
Which is fine.
Everything else is not there, though.
See, like here's
Stop lying to your fans.
This is such a double-edged sword. Like there are so many fans just rooting for Ryan Pace to get fired, rooting for Matt Nagy to get fired. But then at the end of the day, the people in charge of hiring the next coach and the next GM are the same people that brought you at first Phil Emery and Mark Trestman before you got to Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. Like, just think about that. Like,
and fired Lovie Smith after a 10-6 season.
There is a very be careful what you wish for vibe to this. And yes, maybe Justin Fields is good enough to, overcome this. What's the saying? Like, even a broken clock is right twice or something like that?
Twice a day.
Yes. It's just, who knows? Who knows? But there's so much to digest in the thought like that. Just. Ugh.
So that's your prediction.
Well, no. My prediction, again, this continues. It could be their decision to stick with Pace and Nagy, or it could be their decision to fire them all and then run their own searches. Like, this is not going to end well.
Maybe they'll hire John Gruden.
Again, this is not going to end well.
That was definitely a joke.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
I don't think anybody's going to be knocking the wood being with John Gruden anymore. I think he's toast. Oh, and that Henry Ruggs story. Man, that's
sad all around.
Sad. Ooh. All right. We should get out of here. A lot of real talk. Real Wednesday on the podcast.
Yeah.
I like that. These are the types of conversations that should have been happening at Hal's Hall this week. I don't know if they were or not, but
That's not cliche talk. That's real talk.
I hope there was real talk.
Some of it should have been happening before the season, but I'm done returning to that point. Podcast listeners, I'm done returning to the training camp rant. It's over.
I don't think you are, because I think it's going to continue to be a problem.
Yeah. What the hell were we doing there?
I don't know. But I'm telling you, guys, I'm not even optimistic they'll turn out to be anything. But guys like Jesper Horsted, I would call Rodney Adams up with the lack of wide receiver. Like, these are the types of guys. See what you have on your roster.
Maybe play Brashad Perryman.
I have no expectations for Brashad Perryman, but why not?
What the hell?
I mean, it's not like you can't even be like, well, if you take Allen Robinson off the field, then you're hurting Justin Fields because then he has like the targets that Mitch Trubisky had as a rookie. Remember that?
Yeah.
Who was it that led the team who was the
Taylor Gabriel? Didn't he lead? Oh, Trey Burton. I forget.
No, in 2017 there was that wide receiver.
Dontrell Inman.
You had Inman, but there was like that former first rounder that I'm forgetting now. Anyway, he may have been sliding into somebody's DMs. I don't know what's going on anymore. But remember that whole thing?
Oh, man. We haven't had that yet.
All right. At least I think the Bears will be smart enough to play Larry Borum over Jermaine Ifedi the rest of the year.
You hope so. He looked all right.
But that's what you got to do. You got to do it at a tight end. You got to do it at wide receiver. Figure out what you have here. You're doing it at quarterback. You did it too late, but you're doing it. Figure out what you have here. All right, we're out of here. Look for that story on The Athletic, theathletic.com/Hoge Jahns. If you're not a subscriber, check out that whole thing. Should be good stuff. I'm at NBCSportsChicago.com. You can follow us on Twitter, at Adam Hoge, at Adam Jahns. Our producer is Kent Garrison, does a great job, as always, and we appreciate everybody who called in this week. We'll keep those voicemails going. Our schedule, again, is a little bit off because of the Monday Nighter. Our preview episode for this week will come on Friday. So check it out on Friday. We'll have a little bit more info injury-wise. Assuming Matt Nagy will be back in the building, but got to figure all that stuff out. Who's practicing, David Montgomery's status, all those types of things. We'll have all that for you later in the week. Appreciate you guys, and check out the 22Q Family Foundation. Talk to you Friday.
See ya.
That Justin Fields run for a touchdown just had me feeling some type of way.